Wrestlemania is in trouble, and we're going to talk about it. Welcome to the Wrestling Council. Welcome to the Wrestling Council. I'm your host, Comic Book Bob. Joined as always, well, not this week. So Frank had some training to do for work. So I will be flying solo today. So appreciate you guys giving me a little bit of leeway here. And we got a lot to talk about. Some interesting things happening in regards to Wrestlemania. And we will be talking about that and giving my opinion on some of the things that are going on, what they can do to right the ship, as it were. Let me get my mic up here where I can actually talk. But yeah, a lot of things happening for poor old WWE. So we'll have to we'll see what they can do to try to fix all those problems. But just wait here for a couple minutes while we're letting everything kind of slowly come in here. Oh, no. Mute that. All right. Sorry, guys. I'm just trying to get everything situated here. But so, what do you guys think? What wrestling were you guys all watching this week? I know Big Daddy was posting some interesting videos about past things, interesting card stuff. As always, go check out Big Daddy, because he was first and he was here and he said, hey, yo, Big Daddy. Always appreciate you, brother.
Hey, yo.
The original learning tree probably forgot more about wrestling than we'll ever know. Always give Big Daddy a check. Leg kick. Hail the Wrestling Council. Hail the kick. How you doing, brother? Hope you're doing okay. Yeah. Kind of winging it tonight, guys. We're a little bit behind in everything, and also just with everything that's going on and Frank not being here. But be all right. Apparently there's an issue with no. What the hell's going on here? Go away. All right. Not bad. Relaxing after work. Yeah, good, man. I'll be doing that tomorrow. I gotta go in tonight. But yeah, so WrestleMania, so WWE's been having some serious issues as of late. What the hell? Where'd my notes go? Okay, I was gonna say, don't screw me over like this. We'll be talking about that, obviously. Before we do that, as usual, let's go ahead and get into our favorite segment, a little something we call that. The good, the bad, and the ugly. Man, Frank not being here is just throwing me off. I didn't do any of the stuff I'm supposed to. There we go. Damn, man. That's what happens when my wingman's not here. But good, the bad, the ugly. Some interesting stuff happening this week. More than anything, though, I hope everybody's safe. I hope everybody's doing well. There's been some crazy stuff going on. A couple of shootings and whatnot. You know, the world is world's in turmoil, guys. So take care of yourselves and be safe. But my GBU. So starting it off, my good. Some good matches this week. Some really, really good matches this week. Andrade versus Hangman Adam Page. MJF versus Brody King. And Kyle Fletcher versus Mark Briscoe. Awesome matches. You know, I mean, obviously those guys are really, really talented. I was really into the Andrade Hangman match, really into the Fletcher Briscoe match. MJF is still, in my opinion, one of the best things going in professional wrestling. Dude's got a huge future ahead of him. Still not even 30 years old. But yeah, especially Andrade versus Andrade since coming back, since leaving WWE, Andrade's been on a tear, man. He's super over right now. He's super over in AEW. He's super over in CMLL. Dude is like putting in work. And I love it, man. I think he's, you know, one of the best in-ring performers there is right now. Obviously MJF putting in some good work. Fletcher versus Briscoe. I've got two minds on that match. Obviously, you know, Kyle Fletcher, I think that kid's, you know, he's the future. He really is. He's a future megastar. Mark Briscoe, that guy can work with anybody. But my God, man, freaking heater turned on and it sounds like a blast furnace. But I do have I wish that they would kind of you know, take a little bit off the gas. I mean, because this was just basically a glorified television match, and these dudes are out there freaking killing themselves. I mean, they're already taking major risks. You know, you're throwing ladders and stuff into it. Things are going to get really dicey. I don't want these guys taking years off of their career and their lives in these matches. But the matches were fantastic. The bad, the finishes, the booking. Andrade should have won in his match against Hangman. And I know there's people saying, "Oh no, man, it's the history with MJF, and you know, and Max has got to get his match back." And I'm like, no, he doesn't. No, he doesn't. He doesn't. 50-50 booking is stupid. It's stupid. I don't like it. And you know, I mean, go back to 2019. You know, when Vince was still in charge of WWE, what was the thing? One of the things that pissed us all off: 50-50 booking. This week I win, next week you win. This week I win, next week you don't. No, it's stupid. So yeah, that Andrade's hot right now. I mean, Hangman was just the champ. He was just involved in, you know, let's build something new here. You know, you still got guys out. You know, Jay White's out, Ospreay's out. You know, Andrade's, you know, like I said, he's really hot right now. You know, put him in that match. That's a draw right there. Nope. And then obviously, you know, them taking the belt off of Tommaso Ciampa and putting it on Fletcher. There's issues that the finishes for these matches just were not great. Especially the Andrade Hangman finish, because we're getting Hangman versus Max again. When we could have had something really unique. Like right now, especially, man, take advantage of the fact that you can do something unique. Something you haven't done before. So that's my bad. And then the ugly, WWE is gutted by injuries. So in addition to the injuries that were already on the books, i.e. Seth Rollins, Bianca Belair, who's the finger injury ended up being much, much worse than everyone thought it was. Kevin Owens, Rey Mysterio. This week, and then in the last 2 weeks, we now add Braun Breaker. That's a big one. That's a really big one. That completely derails WrestleMania. Chelsea Green, who broke her ankle, and Xavier Woods is now out as well with a shoulder injury. So, I mean, right there, you've got 4 of their top stars in Seth Rollins, Braun Breaker, Kevin Owens, and Bianca Belair. They just, I mean, and especially the Vision, they are completely gutted. So what do you do now? So what do you do with those guys now? So it's just a major, major situation on top of other issues that WWE is dealing with. But the injury bug is just hitting everybody. So, hey, there's my boy. Hollywood said, "Hail, everybody! Hollywood is in Michigan for work trip, baby. Be safe, my brother." But that's my GBU. Guys, go ahead and post in chat what your GBU was, what you think is going on. Probably going to be a little bit of a short show this week. Like I said, I'm flying solo, so. But I don't know, give others an opportunity to WrestleMania. That's one of the things that I'm going to talk about here is what I personally think they should do going into WrestleMania. I think this is the time when you make bold moves and you do something, off the cuff. So, so as it stands right now, there are only a couple of matches that are set up for WrestleMania. Obviously, we know CM Punk versus Roman Reigns. Drew McIntyre versus whoever wins the Elimination Chamber, which we're almost certain is going to be Cody. Somehow they're going to supposedly insert Jacob Fatu into that. I don't know how. I mean, he didn't win the Rumble and he didn't win the Elimination Chamber. So why is he getting the world title shot? So, Leg Kick says Julia in place of Bianca. That's an idea. Yeah, dude. I mean, they've done absolutely dick all with friggin' Julia. So, yeah, like take a bold move. Let's try something new here. Also, Liv Morgan versus either Stephanie McCoy or Jade Cargill. I have a hard time believing it's going to be Jade Cargill. Jade Cargill, in my personal opinion, me and Frank were just talking about this on the phone a little bit ago. Jade Cargill has just not clicked in WWE, which is a shock to me because I thought she was tailor-made for WWE. She's got the look. She was decent on the stick. She's the drizzling shits in the ring, but she was getting better in AEW. She was being trained by Dustin Rhodes and Brian Danielson was taking an interest in her. She was making progress. I mean, she wasn't great, but she was making progress. And then she goes to WWE and she's exactly the same as she was. And in my personal opinion, she's actually regressing. So, in place of Breaker, how about Penta or Dragon Lee? My pick would be Dragon Lee. That's and you're thinking exactly like I'm thinking, like Kick. Like I'll get into it in a minute, but that's the kind of stuff that I think they need to do something completely like a 360 from what they normally do. But then they said Liv Morgan versus I believe it's going to be Stephanie McCoy. Which leaves Jade Cargill. Like, what do you do with Jade Cargill? You can't put her in there with somebody that can't be a ring general because she needs someone that's gonna friggin' lead her by the nose to have a decent match. So, and then we're gonna get Brock versus either Obafemi or Gunther. I think it's probably gonna be Obafemi. I wish it was Gunther. But I get the feeling that the What we got was the teaser that we got at the Royal Rumble. I think that's what we're going to get at WrestleMania. But that's it. That's all they had. Like, that is literally all that's planned right now. Now, they had a whole bunch of other stuff that was going to happen involving Seth Rollins and Braun Breaker. Obviously, that's not going to happen now. Chelsea Green is out. Bianca Belair is out. So the situation with Jade Cargill is completely up in the air. I could care less about Rhodes versus McIntyre again. Yeah, and that's the other thing too, is we're getting a whole bunch of repetitiveness in this. If it was me, because that's just the issue with the card. Like right now, they don't really have a WrestleMania card. Leg Kick WrestleMania was talked about on Bishop's podcast on WrestleMania sluggish ticket sales. That's the other problem they're dealing with. They literally had to come out and put and offered their tickets at 25% off, trying to sell this thing out. Now, here's the thing. Let's say in a stadium of like 75,000 people. They fall short of a sellout by like 3,000 or something like that. That's not going to be that big of a deal. They can fudge the numbers on that. They always do anyway. They can kind of fudge the numbers on that, and make it look a little different. You can get away with something like that. But if they end up falling short by like 10,000, 15,000, I don't think they're going to fall short by like 20,000. But I could see them potentially falling short by 10,000. That's a big chunk of your audience, and it's going to be noticeable when you're showing the crowd. And even though now, from a monetary perspective, I don't think that they're worried about that, because I think because of how high they've jacked the ticket prices up, the revenue is going to be higher than it was last year. The revenue is going to be higher, but the visual of it is going to be a problem. And I think that's what they're worried about right now. I don't think they're worried about how much money they're going to make at the gate, because they're going to make scads of friggin' money. I think they're worried about the optics of it. So, and that's why they're offering their tickets at 25% off. But even at 25% off, those tickets are still crazy expensive. Crazy expensive. Like, let me double check here and see. Let's see here. How much are WrestleMania tickets this year? All right, so let's see. Okay, so for nosebleed, single day, it's $250 to $260, and that's nosebleed. That's upper level or behind the stage. 2-day combo is still at $700 plus. Premium floor seats are almost $10,000. Let me look I'm gonna pull up StubHub real quick and see what we got going here. Did you see WrestleMania 2-day pass? Let's see here. Okay. Continue. All right, let's see here. So let's go in the middle. Dude, that's still over $1,000. That's still over that, and that's at 25% off. That is still over $1,000. My God, man. Okay. Dude, and there's tickets. Dude, there are some tickets for a 2-day pass in the upper deck area that are going for $800. Then in the nosebleeds, so I'm looking at the tickets that are available here. And for a 2-day pass, we're looking at 670, 700, 600. My God. And then for like the worst seats, you're looking at, $550, $600. But for floor seats, you're talking 1,500 plus. And then for the premium seats, my God, some of these premium seats, guys, some of these premium seats are going for anywhere from $11,000 to $18,000. This is bonkers shit, man. And I'm looking on friggin' StubHub right now. Jeez, good God. So that's a major, major, major problem for them. I said also remember matches AJ Lee versus Lynch and Bella Twins for the tag titles versus Riho. Yeah. Yeah, but the thing is honestly, AJ Lee versus Lynch, that's not a draw, man. Bella Twins, that's not a draw, and that's not guaranteed. I'm sure that's going to be one of the filler matches that they do. That's not going to help deal with the problem that they're having right now, though. WWE doesn't have any compelling storylines. It's what happens when you don't have stars being built. AEW is the same. Yeah, and that's that's the reason why I was upset with the finish for Hangman versus Andrade. But here's the thing. Even though they're cutting down ticket prices like this, they're still having trouble selling these things. And also, there's the problem that Frank and I were talking about, where they're going to issue a local blackout, which means local bars and other establishments aren't going to be able to show WrestleMania in their bars and in like sports bars and stuff like that. They issued a local blackout, and this is this is part of their attempt to force people to buy tickets, and of course it's backfiring on them. And that move right there is one of the stupidest things I could ever think of, because one, now you're losing pay-per-view revenue because you're using from what you call it, whether is WrestleMania going to be on Netflix? Let's see here, where can you watch WrestleMania 2026? Oh, yeah, the ESPN app. So they're losing revenue from the ESPN app for all those people locally, because they're not going to be able to purchase it, and the ticket sales aren't increasing. Netflix overseas, right. So they're cutting that bit of that, and obviously, they're not. I don't think they're all that worried about losing a few, $10,000-$15,000 from all the places locally that won't be able to show it or whatnot. But they're not going to increase their ticket sales by that much, because the people that locally that we're going to watch in the bar, they're not going to shell out $600, $700 to watch it live. That's why they were going to watch it in a bar. They would watch it. They would go there and watch it for free. That's what they do there. But a bigger problem is, how do you fill the card out? So they've got multiple serious problems that they got to deal with. And how they're going to do that, I honestly think this is where you pull an audible and you just start pulling things. You just go off the script. And this is where I think you call up a couple of guys that are ready to go from NXT, like the whole situation with the Vision. I think the only way you salvage that is that instead of the masked man being what's his name? Not Logan Paul, but God, my brain just took a crap on me. You have it be someone like Ricky Starks. You have it be someone like Ethan Page. You bring in these couple of these guys that are ready to go from NXT, and you insert them in this card, and you build some excitement. And for the women, yeah, that's what I would do. I would call up Blake Monroe. I would have her be a surprise entrance into the women's elimination chamber. And I would have her win and challenge Jade Cargill and take that belt off of Jade Cargill, because Jade Cargill is the drizzling shits. I think that's something that you can do to salvage that with Bianca Belair being out. As far as what you're going to do with the Vision, though, I think you need, either you have that thing completely disintegrate, because it's going to be at least 2 or 3 months before Braun comes back. They're saying that Seth is supposedly going to be back at WrestleMania, but that's not. But who's he going to fight? Going to fight Logan Paul? Does anybody care about him versus Logan Paul? I mean, it might be a decent match, but the question is going to be why? Why would it be him versus Logan Paul? The problem is with him and Braun. So I think you call an audible. I think you call up some of these guys from NXT that are ready to go. If it were me, I would have Cody lose the Elimination Chamber. I would have Jacob Fatu win at Elimination Chamber because of interference by that Cody ends up losing because of interference by Ricky Starks. And that's how you bring Ricky Starks in. The two of them have history together. They're both in AEW. This is how you bring in some new blood and you build something interesting and exciting for WrestleMania and try to sell some more of those tickets. They're going to have to do something extreme. Someone said that they think that this package deal thing that happened on Raw is teasing The Rock showing up. At this point, I don't think The Rock showing up is going to help much, because I think there's still people still have a sour taste in their mouth because of what happened. But outside of what we've already talked about, what do you guys think? Like, what does WWE need to do to try to salvage WrestleMania? Because right now they don't have a show. They've got time to build. They've got over a month. They got like a month and a half, a little more than that. So they've got time to build something, but they need to start building something now, because with all of these people out, and even if Seth Rollins comes back, what's he going to do? Who's he going to be in against? So they've got time to build something, but I think they need to pull something out. And like you said, I would do that, or start building something up with the mid card, because the mid card right now, nobody gives a crap. Nobody gives a crap about anything right now. You've got 2 nights of WrestleMania. You've got basically 6 hours of wrestling to fill. And so far, you've only got 3 matches that are announced. And of those 3 matches, 2 of the participants are undecided. You've got Punk versus Roman, Drew versus the winner of the Elimination Chamber, and Liv versus either Stephanie Vacour or Jade Cargill, which leaves one of the women's world title matches up in the air. So what do? I think you do what friggin' Hollywood says. I think you bring in, you have Blake Monroe show up as a surprise entry to the Elimination Chamber. Somebody else gets pulled out, and she goes after Jade Cargill. There's your other women's match right now. And then Liv goes after Stephanie. Paul and Reed versus the Usos for the tag titles. Yeah, you can do that. That's another one that you could do as a filler. Because let's be honest with you, man, WWE doesn't give a crap about the tag titles. They're an afterthought. But that's a match you could at least do, Paul and Reed. And but yeah, like I think they need to do something serious to really get some excitement going on for WrestleMania. And to me, that's bringing in new people. That's bringing in new blood, bringing in new surprises, showing people something exciting and different. Because right now, you're floundering. And with ticket sales being so expensive and you having problems selling those tickets like that, the optics aren't good. But yeah, outside of that, I honestly don't know what they can do, except try to, pull out some member berries like, hey, The Rock, hey, this guy, hey, remember, hey, The Undertaker showed up. Remember The Undertaker? You guys love The Undertaker. Of course, this isn't Saudi Arabia, so that wouldn't really work the way they want it to. But anyway, guys, like I said, it was going to be a short show today. At the end of the day, they'll do something. Give the division some gold to build up some excitement for the group. Yeah, they've got to do something. They've got to do something to put some they got to do something to put some butts in seats. They got to do something to grab some people's interest. And right now they're not doing that. Usos versus the reunited Lucha Brothers. Yes, yes. Put Ray and Penta together as a freaking tag team. And then just like right now, let them go on a freaking tear between now and WrestleMania. And then we get them versus the Usos. That's something different and exciting. That's something that people have been waiting for. Give them that. But that's the kind of thing that they need to do. That's the kind of thing that they need to pull out of their friggin' back pocket. The question is, are they going to do that? We'll see. Reigns versus Gunther, start a feud. Absolutely. I would 100% do that. They're not gonna. It's going to be Punk versus Roman. I would have had Roman. I would have had Gunther come out, insert himself into that match, and get into it with Roman and build a feud between those two guys. 100%. But are they going to do that? We'll see. I don't know. I don't think so. I honestly think that they have largely fumbled Gunther. Recently, it's been better, but it's pretty sad because you can clearly see TKO's fingerprints on all of these problems. All of these problems. Except for the injuries, obviously. So that's what happens, man. They screwed up they've been screwing with the UFC and now they're screwing with WWE. So, but anyway, guys, I'm going to go ahead and end it there. Like I said, it's going to be a quick match. Leg kick. Nope. Yep. I agree. Thanks for being here. Like I said, guys, be safe. Frank, I'll see you when you get back. Be safe, my brother. Guys, take care of yourselves, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye.